you will see a complete change once everybody sees the fraud that is our financial system.
Today for the Bitcoin price with DaVinci J15 and Carl from the Moon. The financial crisis is getting worse and worse. People are panicking, but the question right now is, will Bitcoin suffer even more from the markets crumbling down, or will Bitcoin be able to decouple itself? We will talk about very interesting facts from DaVinci J15, Carl from the Moon, and also myself. These are actually things every Bitcoin and altcoin holder has to hear right now. Guys, this will be jam-packed. Make sure you take a seat. You do not miss out on one single minute of that video. And that being said, we want to come to the most important questions of today. DaVinci J15 and Carl from the Moon, how are you both doing today, my man? Let's start maybe with our new guest, Carl from the Moon, before we go to DaVinci.
I'm doing very, very well. DaVinci, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be alive, right, and not virus-free.
Exactly. So, yeah, let's talk about all of that. Let's not jinx it with the virus. Of course, we are not panicking. We are not fearful. We have respect for that virus, of course, but we are not panicking. This doesn't make any sense at all. So, guys, thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure you smash up the like button. Let's try to get this video to at least 2,000 likes. Let's try more. We really appreciate your guys' support. And even though we have so much negativity in the world right now, we want to concentrate a little bit also on the positive sides, even though we cannot negate the fact that things are pretty bloody right now. So first of all, maybe DaVinci, we can come to you. What do you think? How can we interpret this crash in the markets? Do you think this will escalate into even more further crashes in the financial markets, into an economic meltdown or whatever? And what do you think, how can Bitcoin and how will Bitcoin react to all of these things happening? Will Bitcoin crumble down even more with the markets, or can we decouple ourselves?
I really think that Bitcoin will decouple from the markets. Well, when that happens, it's not really relevant. It's just going to happen when all this money that people are taking out of the markets, because that's what effectively is happening here. When you see the markets drop and continue to drop, people are looking for cash. And then you see that in bonds, which is very kind of scary, right? Because what's happening now is people are not running into bonds, we're running into cash. And then eventually they're going to realize, they're going to take this to negative. Where am I going to park my cash to ensure that I don't lose out to inflation, especially since they're dropping the money from helicopters right now, probably actually doing bombers right now instead of helicopters. Right? So you want to be, they're going to want to have to run the safety, and there's only a few places left. Gold, silver, Bitcoin are the quality assets to go to. Maybe even Ethereum, right, is one of those assets that they're going to go to. So decoupling and a rocket ship ride. When people realize that they need to secure their cash, secure their money, especially when we're going to eventually have bank runs. And I don't know if you know this, right? Most of the books around the world, both Canada, United States, and many countries in the United States, UK, many countries in the UK, European Union, European Union, they have bail-in provisions in the law. So what that means is the banks can take your money to keep them solvent. So look out for that. So look out for people realizing what's going on and getting out of cash.
Thank you so much for your for sharing your opinion. And these bank runs, it is already starting on a very small scale. We will probably see that escalate even more. Carl, what are your thoughts about this whole topic right now?
Yeah, so we have seen Bitcoin go down in the initial stages of the crisis, and I also believe that we are going to see this escalate. And I do believe that the properties of Bitcoin are going to be undeniable to people whenever we see this crisis escalate. For example, when the banking system starts to collapse, then people will realize that when you cannot go to the ATM and just withdraw cash like you usually do, then you need an alternative. You need to keep your money somewhere else. And this is a very interesting part, because when you keep money in the bank, you're actually loaning the money out to the bank, and now this is the bank's money, and they can decide whether you get your money or not. And that's not the whole problem. The bigger problem is that the money is not even there in the first place, only a small part of it. So the banking system is fundamentally flawed, and it's actually completely insolvent. And I think this is something that will become obvious to people when the panic sets in even more, because we will see bank runs, we will see people knocking on the doors of the banks, and the money is not there. And the people who bought Bitcoin before this will be the people who benefit, and the people that didn't are the people that are going to have to buy Bitcoin at these much higher prices when everyone wants to buy Bitcoin. And whether Bitcoin is at 20,000 or 50,000 at these at that stage, it's very hard to know. But I do believe that this demand will truly increase. It's just that right now people are too fearful and too panicky to think straight and to think rational. So just like you said, people are going to cash now, because cash is seen as this safe place to be, because people still trust the banking system and the central banking system. But I really believe that this is going to change very soon.
Yes, this is a very good point actually. And the convenience of cash, nothing which comes very easy, and it's easy to inflate, it's very easy to use right now. This is usually in the very long run not the best way to go. We know that all the fiat currencies on average survived like 30 or 40 years at max. We are at the end of that road already, and this was a very good point. Also, what you said, right now everyone is fearful, and of course when everyone wants to buy Bitcoin, you know for sure this is not the best time anymore to buy Bitcoin, because it will be already visible in the prices. It is so nice right now that the central banks are giving money to everyone. It sounds like a very nice gesture, but it is like Keynesian economics, and I'm not a fan of that actually, to be honest. And if you give money to everyone, the supply increases, the inflation is a little bit slowly, but you will see the reaction in the prices very soon. So if you increase the monetary supply so drastically like right now, first of all it seems nice to have some extra cash on your hands, but in the end, if everything increases in price by 20, 30 or whatever percent in the mid-run here because of that crisis, you will not be so happy about that additional cash anymore, because everything will be more expensive. Please guys, remind yourself on that. You cannot just print more Bitcoin and helicopter it to the people, because we have 21 million in the year of 2130 or 2140, and this is not about to change. There's not a Jerome Powell coming out and saying, well, I'm printing new Bitcoin now, I'm giving it to the people to prop up the system. No. If you have one Bitcoin, this will be always 1/21 millionth of the total supply. Please keep that in mind, guys. And this is actually a very important thing to point out. So now let's go over to the outlook before we wrap up today's video. It is a very short one, however, guys, smash up the like button. I would like to know from you both, guys, what do you think, where is this financial system going towards, and what do you think, how will Bitcoin come out of that? So I think we can all three agree, and it will not come to a surprise to our viewers, that we think this financial system is gonna go down. And let us know your thoughts in the comment section as well. What do you think when it is going to go down, and what do you think which role is Bitcoin going to play in there, and how is Bitcoin going out of this crisis?
I think that we are witnessing the beginning of the end of this this financial system. I think you can also argue that the beginning of the end was 1971, when we abolished the gold standard. You can also say that it was back when the world wars started to happen. But I think that we're witnessing the final nail in the coffin, where we were seeing these huge stimulus packages, and I guess maybe actually the first beginning was the 2008 financial crisis, when the Federal Reserve and other central banks started to print money out of nothing, trillions and trillions of dollars, and also pushing down interest rates. I think that we are really seeing the cracks open wide now, and I think all of the debts that have been rising for the past few years, it's just getting heavier and heavier for the economy to bear, and at some point it is just going to tip, and I think that we are witnessing that right now. This is something that we, all three of us, have been expecting. We have been talking about it on our channels for so long, right? I think the surprising part is the sheer dramatic how fast it's happening, and I think maybe we can attribute some of that to Corona. I mean, I talked about that I think that it's Corona is kind of like kicking someone who's already on the ground lying there. I mean, the system is already fundamentally broken, and then you have this threat coming and just kicking the system when it's already down. So that's why we're seeing this really dramatic effect on the markets. And also, not only that, we're also seeing countries politically coming in and doing these things where they shut off all restaurants, they shut off all the events, they cancel all flights, and so politically also they are just continuously just kicking someone who's lying on the ground, and that's why we're seeing this being much worse than maybe it should be in the immediate short term. But inevitably this had to happen anyways, because so much debt is out there. We're seeing big corporations who have done huge amounts of share buybacks, not only with money they had in the first place, but also borrowing money to buy back shares. And all of these things have been due to the extraordinary environment with low interest rates and cheap credit. So I think that at some point this had to happen, and I think this is not really surprising, but the surprising part is the fact that it's crashing so quickly.
Yep. And now, Da Vinci, thank you so much for that very interesting insights. Please give us the cherry on top of the ice right now. What are your thoughts? And please just be straight and honest with everyone. We are really interested in that as well.
Yeah, so how many people, I'd like to know how many people has ever gotten caught up in a scam? How many been defrauded by either through a Bitcoin fraud, for example, where you got into a Ponzi scam where they said that they'll promise you 2% interest rate on your Bitcoins per day, or 1% per day, or maybe even a fraud with that promised you cash, right? They tricked you with cash, right?
I have a good one. I think every single viewer, you, me, and also Carl, we all got trapped in a scam already by using fiat currencies. Just I wanted to put that out because this is already a scam in it of itself. But I think you mean something else, right? I'm saying.
Yeah, well, actually, no. That's what I was trying to get to.
Oh, okay. Oh, perfect. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
That's exactly what I was trying to get to. I was trying to say that basically we're all trapped in this fraud, and once we realize that it's a fraud, because a lot of people don't realize that we were in this fraud, and this will permanently change people so that, hey, you know what? I don't want to be caught up in the fraud of fiat money ever again. And so this is why I'm going to go with Bitcoin, because I know exactly what the rules are, and they do not change. Meanwhile, with central banking, promise after promise has been broken. They promised not to buy treasuries, and now they're buying treasuries. They promised not to change the reserve requirements. Now the reserve requirements are zero, right? You touched on that. You said that the banks had a portion of your money stored in your bank account. Now they have zero in their bank of your money. Basically, they use that 100% of that money in their as part of their balance sheet. That's now 100% of whatever you deposit is theirs. Before it used to be just 10%. 10% must be stored at the central bank, and they cannot touch, and it must be kept for the depositors. Now it's zero. So once we end this system, you realize that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to get defrauded. I'm going to be my own bank. I'm going to take possession of my own wealth. I'm going to be a guardian of my own wealth, a steward of my own wealth, and I'm not going to trust a banking system. Maybe I might invest directly with a company that trusts in that. There's no point in leaving it in a bank, because why? Over time, Bitcoin will increase in value because it's a fixed supply. And so, yeah, you will see a complete change once everybody sees the fraud that is our financial system.
Thank you very much for that. Thanks for these actually extremely bullish words here about Bitcoin for the very long run. Thanks also to you for joining our episode today. It was extremely valuable to connect your both guys' opinion. I think we are all in the same boat here in the long run. Everyone, let us know your personal price prediction in the comment section down below. And I want to know from you guys, do you think Bitcoin will be in the long run here within that financial crisis? Let it be in the later stages, a safe haven asset or not? Let us know in the poll which is popping up on top of the screen right now. Click the poll and say yes or no towards the safe haven asset question. And that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for smashing up the like button above 2,000 likes. And that being said, I want to ask you guys, do you have anything to share before we wrap up today's episode, Carl and Da Vinci?
The only thing I want to say is thank you very much once again for being having me on the channel. I always have a lot of fun doing these collaborations with both you and you, Da Vinci.
Yeah, Da Vinci, anything to share?
I say don't get wrecked. Don't gamble on the markets.
Exactly. Do not get wrecked, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see each other at the next one of MMCrypto already tomorrow. And as always, guys, as always, bye-bye.